Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to Babeinlibrary. It's your girl Lisa, and today we're going to do the mid-year freakout book tag. So that being said, this is a full circle moment for me because this is the very first video that I put on my BookTube account last year that kind of kickstarted it off. So I am now reaching or have reached my first year on BookTube, and I'm so thankful for everyone that has joined and subscribed and watched my videos, left a comment, or liked. I'm going to go ahead and get into it with the best book that I've read this year, which I read in January. So nothing so far has topped this book for me. This was actually on my BookTube tag for last year as the most beautiful book that I purchased. But this year I actually did read it, and that is Kennedy Ryan's Reel. This book blew me away when I read it in January. This was on my 12 for 12 recommendations video, and I'm so glad because this book had everything that I could have wanted and more. This made me cry. It made me swoon. This really did kickstart my year off right. With Canon and Neva, this is a workplace romance that had a love story within another love story that I just could not get over. And for good reasons, because Canon loves Neva wholeheartedly and make sure that he supports her every step of her journey through her career, and through that he opens up and blossoms himself. I couldn't be more happy to have this on my BookTube tag for this year as a part of the best book that I've read. So the second question is the best sequel. Now, this lady is churning and burning. She is pumping out nothing but hits, and so far this one is the third in the series, but it is the best by far to me. It is a friends to lovers polyamorous romance, and that is Give Me More by Sarah Kate. When I read this, I knew that I was interested in Drake, but I hadn't really seen Isabel or Hunter. And they blew me away because Isabel is the star of this particular book. She is the lady that has the two men on her arm and knows when to bring them all together and knows when to give them their own time. This book really did show me that polyamorous relationships and friends to lovers can truly work out. I could not recommend this more because Praise was a 4.5-star read, but Give Me More was a 5-star read. And looking back, I know that this is probably one that I'm going to read over again. Best sequel that I've read to date. There's a couple of other sequels that, kind of wanted to give them a run for their money, but nothing is touching Give Me More. Now, in terms of new releases that I have not read, but I really should have read by now, that's going to go to Lauren Asher's Final Offer. This is the final trilogy for the Dreamland Billionaires. I'm pretty much going to say it. I'm intimidated by this book because it is a chunker. I don't have an audiobook to support this. I do know that I really enjoyed Callahan from the little glimpses that I got from his storyline. I believe that this is a second chance, estranged or divorced couple that really are put in a situation where the grandfather who is deceased has been meddling. And I've heard really good things about this book. I know that it deals with some heavy topics such as drug abuse and things of that nature. I haven't picked this up, not because I don't want the series to end, but because it is so intimidating and so thick of a book. But I can guarantee that I'm probably going to have this finished by the end of the year because I do want to complete this series and move on to Lauren Asher's Others book. But Final Offer is a new release that I want you all to hold me accountable to. I do need to pick it up and get it off my to-do list. So my most anticipated release, I believe, actually comes out August 28th. I do get to see this author at Steamy Lit Con. I am so excited. I have an art copy, but I haven't picked it up yet. And that is Art of Scandal by Regina Black. Now, I am so very intrigued by this book for a number of reasons. One, it is an age gap romance where there is an older heroine. It is a political scandal, being that the female main character is a politician's wife. She is kind of built up to be a trophy wife. She has ambitions, but her husband is in politics, and this entire time he has been pulling the purse strings. And so she is doing her dutiful duty, but she is wanting a divorce from her husband and comes across a 26-year-old candidate that is in the political scene and that runs in the same circles with her husband that has caught her eye. And they start to unravel certain secrets of her husband. And when I tell you that just sounds like me wrapped up in a book, this is a debut novel and I hope to see more people read it when it comes out, but I'm definitely going to be picking it up. Now, as far as my biggest disappointment of the year, now this one is probably going to shake the table a little bit. And I burns me to say that Chloe Lisa's If Only You was probably my biggest disappointment of the year. And I think it stems from a number of reasons. One, I read the rest of the series back to back. So I binge read the first 5 in the series, loved each and every one of them. However, this one, I had a little bit of time in between me reading it since it released versus when I read the others. Plus, I did really feel like Chloe Liese forced a lot. She tried to force so many representation in this book that it tended to feel a little disingenuous, where her other books in the series flowed naturally. I probably will be picking it back up at some point. I know a lot of people did love it. Chloe is really great in terms of making sure to have characters that you're going to fall in love with. Personally, I did feel like Sebastian was a character I would fall in love with. Just at the time that I read it, I wasn't vibing with it. However, the biggest surprise that I had was reading Kenya Gorey-Bell's The Bad Guy. I picked it up just on a whim because I wanted to start to knock down authors that I would see at the convention that I was going to in August. And Kenya Gorey-Bell was someone I had never heard of. The premise of the story kind of intrigued me. So it is a Yakuza mob boss that is obsessed with this chef in this little small town that he is starting a business with. And he was intrigued by her. The catch was that her little brother got into some trouble with his business and kind of hacked into his system, and he's taking it out on the chef. I had no expectations going into the book. I was just wanting to get to read from this author, and this brought out a lot of interest for me in terms of the town that Kenya created. It is a small town romance that has a lot of big key major players that are going into it. So you've got a Yakuza mob boss that's in there, that they do travel to Japan. You've got town rivalry. It's so much that's compacted in this book, but you don't have to read the rest in the series, but I highly recommend it just because the second book in this series is Easy Like Sunday Morning, and that even tops The Bad Guy. So I'm not only surprised by me loving the book, I'm also surprised that I am loving everything that Kenya is putting out. Now, as far as my favorite new author, it should come as no surprise. I am devouring everything that she puts out. And today I actually finished the second in this particular trilogy that she has coming out. It's gonna be J.L. Seegers. Everything she does is 5-star. Like, the lady doesn't miss. She is churning and burning. Like, when I tell you that she is a machine, we do not deserve J.L. Seegers. She is so good to us, giving us Restore Me, and then giving us a trilogy in Revive Me. And then I just come to find out that she has 2 more books or 2 more couples in the series, and that's going to be Release Me and Reclaim Me. Y'all, J.L. Seegers is going to get all of my money. She said, not only am I going to give you physical books, I'm going to give you audiobooks to match. I'm going to give you novellas. I've got plenty of books in spades, and y'all are going to get it. And my hand is out, baby. Like, hand me whatever you've got, JL. I'm going to read it and cherish it. She is by far my favorite author this year. If you haven't read anything from her, I highly, highly recommend. She's got something for everyone. Now, as far as my new fictional crush, y'all should know it's going to be Rome Martin from Only for a Week by Natasha Bishop. This man, that's my man. Rome Martin could have me any day of the week. There is not a need that I have that this man has not shown that he could provide. He's got acts of service down pat. Gifts is a love language, words of affirmation, physical touch, you name it. The man has it in spades, and he does not hold back. Like, when I tell you he's going to give you his entire self, and he doesn't give a damn whether it's your mama, whether it's your sister, your cousin, your ex-boyfriend, whoever it is, they better move out his way, because he is coming for his woman, and no one better lay a finger, hurt her feelings. The man is top tier book boyfriend, and I am willing to bet nobody's gonna top him this year. And if they do, we're just gonna be in a polyamorous relationship, because I'm not giving Rome up. It is going to be a reverse harem for me. Speaking of men that I'm falling in love with, my new favorite character. Now, he didn't get my top fictional crush because Rome had it on lock. But my new fictional character that I have not been able to stop thinking about, like, I'll just be randomly sitting here and I'll be like, I wonder what Alex Volkov is doing from Twisted Love. This man, he's deep in here. Y'all didn't hype up Alex Volkov like I thought you should have. Like, he is a new fictional character favorite for me in the fact that he's cold and calculating, but he's also soft and sweet and caring for the people that he loves, which is like two people at max, Ava and Josh. He just stays on my mind constantly, and anybody that can live rent free in my head has got to be a new favorite character. So Alex Volkov for sure. Now, as far as books that made me cry, that's going to have to go to The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr. I sobbed big crocodile tears at the end of this book. This is a stunning read that I wish more people would talk about. This is a historical fiction of a love story told through multiple perspectives of two male enslaved humans that will deal with whatever the consequences are to be with one another. It just shows how much you and another person make a impact within the world, and what ripple effect that you leave in the hearts and in the lives of other people. And as I got to the end, like, I knew what would happen, right? There is a foreshadowing that you get to see in this book that it really takes root, but you are on this train and you don't want to get off. And by the time you come to the finale, you are just a sobbing, heaping mess. But you're grateful and thankful that Robert Jones Jr. decided to put this into the world for people to see. Now, on the flip side, something absolutely different. No deep, dark emotions. Something that just brings you joy and makes you happy, and that I just fell in love with was Love Radio by Emily Liddell. This is a YA romance that was built and made for millennials, right? This is YA, and it came out way after, my time frame. However, it was made for me. This has so much pop culture reference of the 90s and the 2000s. I am a big fan of library dates. I am a big fan of bookstore dates, skating dates, you name it. This book it's just pure joy and satisfaction for me. Lastly, the most beautiful book that you bought or was purchased for you, that is Let Me Hold You by Alexandria House. Like, look at this. Do I need to say any more? This is a sports romance. I have not read it yet. I just got it in the mail. But this man, delicious. Sister girl holding on to him tight, fresh nails. Like, get into it. Like, I cannot wait to pick this up and fall in love with Leland. This is the most stunning, gorgeous book. I'm a personal fan of, like, people on the cover. So that is my mid-year book freakout tag. Let me know in the comments if you have a video. I will want to go out and watch it. If you've read any of these books, tell me which one was your favorite. Whatever it may be that we have in common, please put it in the chat. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.